In this video, we will discuss things that you do not want to go frugal in on your wedding. First off, the DJ. Not go cheap on is your DJ. This was one of the worst experiences for me because I decided to listen to someone in regards to my DJ and take the easy route out when I should have just paid more money to get someone who I knew would be qualified to do a great job. A DJ is what plays a big part in your reception. If you don't have a DJ or you don't have the MP3 player or something of that nature, your reception will suffer from it. And this was the case with me. So make sure that your DJ comes to rehearsals. My DJ didn't come to any of my rehearsals. My DJ did not come early to rehearse with the wedding singers. And there was a big mishap that inevitably caused big problems at my reception. So make sure that when you get a DJ, you require them to show up. If not at every rehearsal, because I had multiple, at least to the last rehearsal, to rehearse with your wedding singers, to rehearse with your entry for your wedding party, and just to be there because they need to know what to play, when to play. You want to make sure they have the music that you need, that they know when to play the music that you need. If not, this will be problematic. So do not take the cheap route out. If you have a cousin who does it, or if you have a friend of a friend who does it, it does not matter. Make sure you check out your DJ before your wedding. Now, one thing I got very blessed on was my photographer. She is an amateur wedding photographer, but not an amateur at photography at all. She was the absolute sweetest. And I browsed around and I came across her. Now, the wedding pictures is one of your most biggest ticket items. You are going to spend money on those. Some people have ridiculous deals. Like I met with one girl who charged $400 for only 75 pictures and 4 hours of service. That did not work for me. Browse around, don't rush. This is something you want to allow yourself a lot of time to price around about. That, catering, and a cake are things that you really don't want to rush into purchasing. But she was very good, very reasonable, and I came out very lucky on that. Now, speaking of catering, that is another thing that you do not want to rush into. You want to browse around, and spend money on a tasting because it is another big ticket item that you're going to spend a lot of money for. A lot of people charge by the head, so this is going to cost you an arm and a leg. Think about the time you're having your wedding. That will determine on how you will feed your guests. I had a late evening wedding, so I had a small dinner. Finger foods are going to cost you a lot more than dinner, so keep that in mind when doing your catering. Another thing I hear that you don't want to go cheap on is the rings. We didn't go cheap on the rings, but if I had it my way, we would have. But I do understand a ring is a symbol of your love, so a lot of people do suggest that you do not want to go cheap on these rings, which I'm glad we didn't. Don't just jump and buy the first one you see. Price around, look for sales. Now, my husband and I are not big cake eaters, but we still wanted something nice for the wedding that would taste good, look good, and something that our guests could enjoy. And since we had a small, intimate wedding, it was very easy for us to make decisions that we didn't want to go all out for a wedding cake. Now, we did numerous cake tastings and we priced around, and even for about 80 to 100 people wanted to charge $500, $600, $700 for a cake of this nature. But luckily we came across a lady who I knew from years ago who was willing to do it. Now, she did cakes on the side. It was not a business. It's just something she did on the side for those close to her. Now, the cake looks beautiful. The cake tastes gorgeous. The inside was yellow and it matched our wedding. So it worked out perfectly for us to do it that way instead of going to an actual bakery. Now, for his cake, we just went to Walmart, got a cake made, and called it a day. I mean, there was just no purpose for us to spend so much money on something that just wasn't that big since we wanted to look beautiful. Now, personal touches. You'll want to have personal touches to make your wedding memorable. I wanted my son to have a very special space in our wedding. I wanted him to just be noticeable, because he was just the biggest part of the day as us. So I found this sign on Etsy, and it was under $20, I believe, and I just thought it was very cute for him to lead the way. Now, I know I had my bell ringers, I had my flower girls, which my flower girls came out early in the wedding because they actually handed out flowers to the parents, to the grandparents, because both of our grandfathers are passed. So we use the flower girls to give flowers to our parents and grandparents in the front row. But this sign was just something that was special for my son to have for me to lead the way as I walked in the building. My grandfather was something that I wanted to lead the way for me. He wasn't able to. So the next best thing was my son and my dad to lead the way with me walking down the aisle. Now, another personal touch to consider is if you've had a grandfather or father or someone who has passed, have someone to walk with in their memory. Now, as stated, they walked ahead of, I had my mom and my grandmother, his mom and his grandmother, and for our grandfathers that passed, we had two little boys lead the way in front of them, holding pictures to just walk in their memory. And we also created a memory table for them as well, along with my aunt, who was very close to me. So it was very important that we included all of them in our wedding in some way or another. So we not only had them walk in holding their picture, and they presented the pictures to our grandmothers in the wedding, but we also had a memory table set up that stated, "We know you would be here if heaven wasn't so far away." So these are just, and we did our unity sand ceremony in front of their pictures. So that's just a little something to add a special touch. And also we did personalized little cards that people could fill out that just gave us personal touches. I purchased these cards off Amazon at a very reasonable price, and it basically just asked for advice from everybody on the what-tos, how-tos of marriage. And I love going back and looking at everybody's personal opinions on how to make our marriage last, especially from those who've been married for a while. Now, I did touch on this one time, but just to touch on them again, when you go to buy your shoes, now me, I got mine from Macy's, and I use coupon on Retail Me Not. I absolutely love Retail Me Not, but also just shop around for sales where you can use your coupons when you go to buy your shoes, or don't be afraid to use off market stores such as Shoe Department, Shoe Show, or Burlington, anything like that, because you'll be surprised the quality you'll find and the price you'll find. Also, with the garters, veils, and things like that, do not be afraid to go online to eBay, Amazon, Etsy, because a lot of times these places can be a lot cheaper and offer free shipping compared to Walmart and Hobby Lobby and David's Bridal. Of course, David's Bridal is super expensive. I'm not trying to hurt their business. I'm just saying there are way more options out there that look just as good, and the quality is just as good as David's Bridal and as good as Hobby Lobby, and that can be a lot less expensive, and that you can also get coupons for. Now, I also touched on this, but I'm going to touch on it again. Do not shy away from using hair stores or places like that to get your tiaras and jewelry. Unless you're really going to wear this jewelry again, it's really no need to spend a large amount of money on it. So go there. It looks great. It does its job for the day, and you save a lot of money.